Hello, this video is for the 4th through 6th graders, yeah. Um, so what I'm going to do is read from the Bible. From the very end, it's backwards, but it's just how the picture comes on. But I will read it is 15 through 19, so it's only, a few verses. But what this is, it takes place after Jesus has risen from the dead, and it's the very end of John's Gospel. And so, one of the things that we know about the relationship between Jesus and Peter was that at times Peter was very faithful. He was he wanted to do the very best he could, and he did his best, much like we try to do as well. But one of the things that Jesus predicted would happen is that Peter would deny knowing Jesus 3 times. And then after the third time that he would deny him, a rooster would crow. And so this happens I think in all 4 Gospels, in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And so it's a reminder that his denial, or him saying, no, I don't know him, was in a way disrespectful, and is kind of him showing and saying that I don't love him. I don't want to follow him anymore. So one of the things that Jesus does with Peter after he rose from the dead is that he had breakfast with him one morning, but then they go off kind of by themselves, and don't mind my dog. He's just kind of hanging out over there. So don't worry about him. But Jesus and Peter have a conversation. And so I'm going to read this conversation and explain it a little bit more. And it might be good for us to think about it in our own life then too. How have I denied Jesus in my thoughts, my words, or my actions? And we might deny Jesus when and we end up calling it a sin. How have I done something to maybe hurt my siblings or my parents? And again, just a reminder that a sin is not an accident. When we stub our toe in the morning, it's not like, or we weren't trying to hurt ourselves, or if we don't see somebody and we kind of run into each other, it's not a sin. It's an accident. A sin is something a little more on purpose. That's the best way to say it. So I'll read this part, and then I'll explain kind of the importance of it. So, when they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." He said to him, "Feed my lambs." He then said to him a second time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." He said to him, "Tend my sheep." He said to him the third time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was distressed that he had said to him a third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep. Amen, amen, I say to you, when you were younger, you used to dress yourself and go where you wanted. But when you grow old, you'll stretch out your hands, and someone else will dress you and lead you where you do not want to go." He said this, signifying by what kind of death he would glorify God. And when he had said this, he said to him, "Follow me." So, a couple points to explain to you. So why did Jesus ask Peter the question, "Do you love me?" 3 times? Think about it. How many times did Peter deny Jesus? 3 times. So what Jesus is helping Peter do, is to make up for what he had done wrong. And in our life with other people, when we do wrong, whether our words or thoughts or actions, like I say, we have to make it up. We either have to replace what we hurt, or and sometimes it takes a little while for us for people to trust us again. But then also at the very end of this passage, it says that when you grow old, and it's saying this to Peter, someone else will dress you and lead you where you do not want to go. Peter, according to our tradition or our custom, is that Peter died on a cross upside down. That the cross, I have a cross here in front of me. This is the one I keep in my pocket. But we see Jesus here, got it the other way, but Peter would have been crucified this way. He didn't feel like he was worthy to die the same way that Jesus died. So maybe a couple points to reflect upon, some questions. Again, that question, how have I denied Jesus? How have I denied that I love him, that I try and do the best that I can to follow him? And then secondly, I think, sometimes what Jesus asks us to do is difficult. And so that's why he says to Peter, follow me. I'll show you a good way. I'll show you, maybe not the easiest way, but I'll show you a way to heaven, to God, my Father. So be assured of my prayers for you throughout this week, and may God bless you, your families, and those you love. Bye.